Okay guys, so today we're going to be working on chapter 4, which is all about orthographic views and inventor drawings. And I know usually I kind of go through and explain each capability and function that you can use, but today we're going to just jump straight into some examples so I can show you how to work with everything like that. So first thing we're going to do is we're going to work with figure P469, and this is supposed to be in millimeters. So make sure that you read up on third angle projections and first angle projections that I put in the lab document before looking at this, or you might be a little confused. If you already know what I'm talking about, good job. Otherwise, go look at that and then come back to this. So, looking at this, this should be in millimeters. I don't know if you guys can see down here. I have the figure pulled up, and looking at this figure, we can see that this isn't a third angle view. This is a first angle view. So all of this is in first angle. That means that this is our left side, this is our front side, and this is our top view. What we have to do with this, according to the book, it doesn't say this in the PowerPoint, but according to the book, is we're going to create a solid based off of these views. So our left view, our front view, and our top view. And we are going to then create a drawing and put this into third angle projection view. So let's start off with a 2D sketch. Let's see. We've got our 2D sketch. We're going to sketch on this XY plane. We're going to start by sketching this front view right here. So we're going to start with this. First thing, as I've mentioned previously, what I like to do is I like to go through and I like to create the base material and cut from there. You don't have to do it this way, but that's how I'm going to show you how to do this. So we're going to come over here and we're going to open up, we're going to start with this rectangle, and looking at our views, we can see that this should be, here, let me come over here. This should be across, in this direction, 66 millimeters. Okay, we're working in millimeters in this case. So if this is our top view and this is our front view, it's safe to assume, okay, that this is going to be 66 inches across this way. 66 inches, okay? And now this is our left view. So imagine turning this and looking at it from the left side. This is 50 inches, okay? 50 inches tall and 50 inches wide. So if we're going to be projecting or extruding out on this XY plane, so this is our front view. If we're going to be extruding out and this is our left view, okay? What we're going to do is we're going to make this 66 inches by 50 inches, and we're going to extrude out 50 inches. So we're going to start with our rectangle. So let's come out here. So we're going to make that 66 inches across. Ooh, I always do that. Dimension this. We're going to make this 50 inches wide, or tall, not wide. Alright, let's pull this in, pull that. Alright, we're going to finish this sketch because, again, I want to cut everything. So we're going to come out here, I'm going to click this extrude button. Doesn't matter which direction you want to extrude it to, I'm going to extrude out, flips the other way, and we're, I've been saying inches, I mean millimeters, but it doesn't matter. We're going to extrude out 50 millimeters. Alright, so looking at this, we're going to come over here, we're going to use inspect. We can see, let's look at this, let's zoom in on this. From here to here, we've got 66 millimeters. Alright, that's this front view right here, 66. If you looked at it from the top, it would be the same thing, 66. And then we got from here to here, we got 50 millimeters. Alright, looking at it from the left side, which is over here, you'd have the same thing, 50 millimeters. And then from here to here, another 50 millimeters. Alright, that makes sense. Left view, 50 across, 50 up, and then front view or top view, 66 this way. So now that we have that, we've confirmed that that works. We're going to come over here, and what I want to do is I want to come over here and create a cut right on this front face. So here's our front face, and we're going to create this cut, and we're going to do start 2D sketch. So we're going to start our sketch. Oh, my bad. So first thing we're going to do is we're going to, create a project geometry. Just click on it, click on the solid, it'll create it for you, and we're just going to sketch out this drawing. Okay, but here, can you see how this says 15 by 45 degrees? This is telling you you need to use a chamfer right here. Okay, you don't have to do it that way if you don't want to, but we're going to follow what this sketch says. So we're not going to cut this out in our sketch. We're not going to cut it out. We're going to do a 3D chamfer for this. Okay, so when I'm drawing and you see that this corner is going to still be intact, it's still going to be there, that's because we're going to add that in after. So let's come up over here. You're going to go all the way down, all the way across. We're going to go up 12. I want to go up 12. Oh, all the way across. And there we go, up 12. Make sure that's straight up, okay? And we're just going to put a random diagonal. It doesn't really matter. Now we're going to come to this area here, and we're going to see, okay, looking here, 6 inches across right here. Let's make this 6 inches, or millimeters, I'm so sorry. Okay, and then right here, again, this is 12 millimeters down. So we're going to come over here, we're going to go 12 down. Again, now across, we can see that's 14. All the way back up, and we're going to close this off right here. Okay, so you might be wondering, okay, like how do I know that this is correct? From here to here, we're going to come over here, we're going to dimension this. From here to here, this should be 26 millimeters. That's going to automatically update this for you. You see, you don't need to have any sort of angle here. You don't need to have an aligned dimension, because with this height here and this length here, it'll automatically set that up for you. So now what we're gonna do is we're gonna click Finish Sketch. We're gonna come over here. Let's extrude. So we're gonna cut, and you can do multiple cuts at once. So we're gonna click both of these, and we're gonna cut those at the same time. And we're just gonna go. Let's go through all. We're gonna go through all. Okay. You could put in a distance if you want to. You could go 2. In this case, we're just gonna go through all. We're gonna click OK, and look at that, all cut out. Boom. All right. So what do we want to do after that? Well, we have this chamfer right here, 15 by 45 degrees. So we're going to come up here. Let's click our chamfer. And we want this distance and angle one. So we're going to put in our distance. So our distance is going to be 15. Our angle is going to be 45. So let's rotate this a bit. Let's look at this right here. Actually, let's get this bottom view. So what we're going to do is we're going to click the face that we want to base it off of. So face right here, first thing.
Okay guys, sorry about that. My audio was going off a little bit. So let's go back to this chamfer here. So what we're going to do, we're going to click this chamfer. This is a 3D chamfer, okay? We already decided we're going to come over here, distance and angle, 15 millimeters and a 45 degree angle. And now we're going to click the face we're basing it off of. So here, it's 45 degrees, so we can just base it off of here. And we're going to come up here. This should be highlighted. Now you're going to pick the edge that you are going to chamfer. So we're going to click there, click apply, and then you could have clicked OK. If you're not going to do another chamfer, you can click OK. So, boom, look at that. 15 by 45 degree chamfer. Now, let's look over here at this drawing again. You can see that these are hidden lines. These lines right here. So, what this is saying, looking at these different views, this is our left view, okay, and this is our top view. This is saying that this cut here, okay, this cut goes all the way through to this part. So it starts right at this part right here. And then this one, this cut on this left view that you can see, is this cut right here on the top. And it's saying that it's going all the way through this top. And it's saying that this is a length of 12. So how are we going to do that? Okay. First thing we're going to do, let's do this top cut. We're going to turn this boy around from our left view, and we're going to just kind of angle it so that we can kind of see right into here. You see this face? This is this face of that cut that we did originally. And we're going to click on this, and we're going to do Start 2D Sketch. Now, you can't see the face. It makes it very difficult. What we're going to do is we're going to click FN, F7 if you're working with a laptop, and that'll give you that cut up until that plane that you're working with. Oh, that rotated not the way I wanted it to, but that's fine. Here we go. See? It's cut off right there. So now we can work with this plane in a much easier fashion. So again, come up here. Let's click project geometry. So we're going to click right here. And now what we're going to do is we're going to come and we're going to sketch out this cut. Okay. So we're looking at it from the left side. And here you can see this view here shows you the left side. So this right here is 12 millimeters across. This 12 millimeters across. Again, this length for this line, 12 millimeters across. Again, here, 12 millimeters across. So what we're going to do is we're going to come over here. We're going to take a construction line, make our lives a little bit easier. We're just going to create a construction line right across here, 12 millimeters. Let's do the same thing for the other side, just to make our lives a little bit easier. 12 millimeters. Okay, so now we know that in between these two spaces is the length that we need this cut to be. We also know, based off of this left view, that it goes all the way to the top. So we're going to come over here, make sure you unclick this construction line, and let's just do a rectangle. Since it is a rectangle, you don't need to come through and draw all the lines, and we're going to click it right there. Look at that. Alright, so now we can finish our sketch. We're going to be able to cut this out now. So let's click Finish Sketch, and look at that. You can see right here what we're working with. And we're going to do Extrude. Click this Extrude button, click on the sketch, and we're going to do a cut. And you can see, let's get it over here, that it cuts straight through. You don't even need a dimension. You don't even need to know how deep it has to be. It's just going to cut straight through there. And we're going to do, you could leave it like this, I mean it cuts, but we're going to go 2, and let's click this face, click OK, and look at that. Now we've got this top cut right here. This top cut is good. So next thing we're going to do, we're going to want to do this bottom cut. So what I'm going to do, or what I just did, is I went over here. Let's go back. I went over here, and we're just going to click down here on this bottom portion, and we're going to look at it from the bottom. Now we're going to sketch there. So let's start 2D sketch. Let's click the bottom right here. Again, I'm pretty sure I've been saying project geometry. I'm pretty sure it's project, but whatever. But looking at this, okay, we're looking at this from the bottom. This is where our chamfer is. This is this right edge over here. So we're going to come over here, and we're going to once again use some construction lines. Click construction here. We're going to go 20 down. Oh, well, let's do project geometry first. My bad. Now we're going to go 20 down. So 20 down on that side, and then 20 up on the other side. Beautiful. So let's once again just create a rectangle. Make sure you unclick the construction lines, and we're going to go from here to here. So that's 10 across, and it should be 12 back. So let's click 12. Okay, you can see that here. It's just 12 back, and then this is 10 across. And we're going to click Finish Sketch. And let's come through, extrude again. We're going to do a cut, and we're going to go to this top plane and click OK. So now we have all of our cuts. Everything is done. You see? That was pretty easy. So we finished part 1 of this project, this part. Next thing we want to do, we want to make a drawing out of this, and we want to do it in third angle projection. So we're going to come over here, right here, we're going to click File, New, Drawing, and it should give us, here, actually let's click File, New, click Metric, and we're going to come down here to ANSI millimeter drawing. Click Create. So here we have our drawing. Let me move this. We're going to zoom out slightly so you can see it. But here we have our drawing. So there's a lot of different things in the drawing. There's different sheet formats, borders, title blocks, yada yada yada. First thing we're going to want to do is we're going to want to change the size of the sheet. So we're going to right click on this sheet 1. We're going to click Edit Sheet. So you can rename this sheet when clicking Edit Sheet. You can switch the orientation, whatever you like, but we're just going to come down here to size, and we're going to click Size A. So now you can see this title block, huge. Not a lot of room to put your figures in. So what we're going to do is we're going to go here and we're going to delete this. Alright, then we're going to double click right here on ANSIA. Double click and look. Now we have something that is a much better size for what we're working with. Next thing we're going to do, we're going to click Base. So the base, oh, we got to save the other part. So let's name this part. I already was working on this, but I didn't finish it. So let's just name it P4691. You can name it whatever you like, but that's what we're going to name it. And we're going to come down here and we're going to put this right around there. So here we have the scale, 1 to 1, 1 to whatever. You know, this will allow you to either increase or decrease its size. So oh, no, that's not what I wanted. So that will make it a lot smaller. So we don't need it to be that small. We could do a half size. Oh, let's do, what do we want to do? Let's do, you know what? We're just going to pick something arbitrary. Whatever fits. So you can use decimals in this case too. So 0.8. We're going to come over here. Right now it says master. Okay. Here we have the different types of styles. You have hidden line removed, and shaded. So you can have hidden line removed and shaded, and you can have hidden line and shaded, but you can't have hidden line and hidden line removed because it makes no sense. So we're going to just click hidden line. Again, you can label your views if you want to, whatever you want to do, but we're just going to do some basic stuff here. We're going to click OK. So this is our front view. Now, we want to get our right view and our top view. So, looking at, let me pull this up. Looking at our third angle projection screen right here. This is the example. We want our front view, our top view, and our right side. Okay, that's how we want it. That's the order. So we have our front view right here. Now we're going to click projected. I don't know why I said that so funny, but it's fine. We're going to click on it, and we're going to move up. This will change, how it sets it up will change depending on what type of convention you are using. So if you went and you clicked ISO millimeters instead of ANSI millimeters, it might change. And on top of that, it will change depending on what view you're coming from. But we're starting with our front, so when we move up, we're going to get a top view. Then we're going to move across. This will give us our isometric view. Or we can move across this way, and this will give us our right side view. So let's click our right side, and we can move up, and it'll give us our isometric. And then we're going to right click, okay? Once you have all of those placed, they're not going to show up yet. We're going to right click and click create. And now look at that. So You can see this isometric view, pretty big, and you're not going to be making any dimensions off of it. It's not necessary. So double click that, and we're going to just switch the scale. So let's do 0.5 for this one. Look at that, so much smaller. And now you can move it around wherever you want. So these are all in the same scale, however, 0.8, 0.8, 0.8. We're going to come up, now that we have these done, and we're going to go to Annotate. Now, here, we're going to click Dimension. Now let me take you guys back to what the dimension should look like. Okay, so now we can see this is what it should look like. Now this is our left side view. So our right side view is going to look different, as you can see. Looking here at this right side view, you see how in the left side view we had these dotted lines across. This is our hidden view, okay? These are the hidden lines. So this is looking from the left side, and you can't see these normally. If you were looking at the left side, you would just see a rectangle with like maybe some shading due to this chamfer right here. But if you turn it around and looking here on our right side view, you can now see that these lines right here are now full lines, whereas the ones that used to be full lines are now dotted lines. That's because looking from the right hand side, you're now going to not be able to see these dotted lines. These are now the hidden lines, whereas these full lines are now what you can see looking at it. You see? You would be able to see this, but you can't see this line back here for this chamfer. So that's just some information for you. That means we're going to dimension things a little differently than how it looks here. But for the most part, it should stay the same. So first thing I'm going to do, let me move this over so you can see a little better. Okay, we're going to come up here and let's click Dimension. So what do we want to dimension? Looking here, again, we have these important values. The front side is going to stay the same. So let's try and get it exactly the same. We're going to come over here and we're going to click from here to here. We're going to get 12. Click OK. So this gives you the option to change how the arrows look, things like that. For now, we're keeping it like this. It's going to be helpful when we're doing tolerancing and things like that. But right now, we're going to keep it like this. If you click Escape so that you're no longer using the Dimension button, you can move how this is oriented. This is a little too small, this area, for the 12 to fit in between. So you don't really have that option, but you can move it on either side, pull it away more, things like that. So let's go back into Dimension. We're going to go, let's go across the big one first. So 26 millimeters. 26 millimeters. It is important to make your drawings look nice. The smaller dimensions should be below these larger dimensions, and if they're measuring on the same line, they should be in line with each other. So for example, this 26, let's place it here. We're going to click OK. Let's come to this dimension here. This is going to be 6. Okay, we're going to go right across, right there. Let's just say we're going to put it there. This dimension here, cross for 14. 14 goes across this. We're going to put it on the same line. Now again, click Escape. You should be able to switch its orientation like that. Make that a lot easier on yourself. Look how nice that looks on the same line. So easy to read. I love it. Now, let's measure this height right here. We're going to get 12. Look at that. Click OK. So now, next thing we're going to want to do. Okay, we're going to want to come over and click this, where is it? Chamfer button. So this is going to click there. Should be able to just click on it. There you go. So, how the chamfer works. You click chamfer, and you click, the line that you chamfered, and a line right next to it. So this line will give you like what your degree is off of mainly. So here we go. Ba-bum. Look at that. So now we're gonna want to come and do this top view, but you see how there's like not a lot of room in between there? You should still be able to click on your drawing. Oh, we have to exit chamfer. you should still be able to, not drawing, but view, and just drag it a little bit down. You see how it moves with respect to one another? That's because they're projected views, okay? That is very helpful, but we're just going to drag this a little bit down, a little bit down. And next thing we're going to do is we're going to dimension up on this top view. So, top view, what do we want to dimension? Let's go across here. Let's go across right here. We're going to get 20 right there. Okay, do it again. 20. Press escape. We're going to move this onto this side, make sure they're still in line, pull this out a little bit. Look at that. That looks nice. You should also be able to, I believe if you edit you should be able to put the dimension in the middle. But for now, we'll just leave it like this, and we can come back to that later. So, next thing we're going to want to do, we need this dimension here. 12. Look at that. Click OK. Click Escape. We're going to move this to this side. Make that easier to read. We now need the dimensions here across this. So let's dimension here. Again, go all the way out. 12. OK. Dimension on the other side. 12. Okay, you don't have to flip it. I'm going to flip it because it makes, I don't know, I like it. Oh, and see, if you move it a certain way, you can get it to like go sideways, but we're just going to keep these in line. So, let's move that in so it's not too far out into the other side. From there, oh, and finally, I forgot, let's get this dimension here. We're probably going to have to move our bottom one down a little bit so that it's not too messy. You can change the size of the text, which I can do in a second, but we're just going to pull this down for now. And you also, while you're in this, you can still change the scale. You could still change it. So like, let's say that you did it and you were like, oh no, that's too large. Okay, we're going to shrink that down. Look, shrinks everything. Beautiful. So that gives us a little more space to work with. There we go. So now let's work on the right view. What do we have dimensioned currently? Well, looking at all of the other views that we have, we can see that we already have this fully dimensioned for our purposes that we need. We don't need to do any more dimensions for this. We also already have this cut dimensioned, so we don't need to worry about that, because with all of the given dimensions that we have, they should be able to know this length, know how far in it goes, things like that. So what we're going to do is we're going to come up and we're going to dimension the height and the width, because we don't have anywhere across in the area that tells us how tall it is or how the width of it. So, oh, I clicked on that wrong. So, click this edge, 50. I pulled that a little too far. So let's move that around. And there we have it. We are done. We have fully dimensioned this. Except, last thing we're going to do is we're going to come up here and click File, and we're going to go to Eye Properties. Now, what is this? This, what you fill out here in these boxes, is going to fill out things here. This is important when you are working on multiple revisions, multiple products in the real world. So knowing where this is important. So let's just name this P. What is this? P4-69. Oh, 69. We can do company, Penn State Barron. We can do subject. Let's do IE 305. Let's see, anything else we want to do? Oh, did I click apply? Click apply. Anything else? Oh, we could do part number. Let's just say it's part number 1. Things like that. You could just apply that stuff and it'll pop up in here. Ta-da! So, Penn State Barron, title, my name, because I drew it. All of that stuff. The scale, how many sheets. That's all going to pop up from that Eye Properties tab. And when you are doing your homework, please make sure include a title. Does not have to be the part name. Include what title you would like. Include the company. So the company, for our purposes, make it Penn State Barron. Have your name, okay, and then just make sure that the scale is there, and that's fine. If you want to add other stuff to practice and have fun, feel free for it. Feel free to do so, but for our purposes, this is all I really need from you. So now, just to show you a few of the other things that you can do with the Inventor Drawings, I'm going to come over here. We're just going to delete this for now. Don't do that when you're turning in your drawings. And we're just going to, try a few things out here. So, what we're going to do is we're going to create a section view. This is pretty important if you have like a lot of holes in your part, or just some stuff that's complicated in the middle that you can't see from any of your other views. You can come over here and you can click section, okay, up here, and then we're going to click on the part that we want to section. So this is our top view. Let's say we want to go across the top from here to here. This is going to be our cutting, and we're just going to click continue. We're going to click OK, and it should have, one second, that should have given me the option to move it, but continue. There we go. You got to move it before you click OK. I mean, you can move it after, but it might just be complicated with all of the things. And you'll be able to like move this around. It's going to stay in line with your view. So this will show you the cutting plane directions, what it looks like. If the arrow is up, that's how the cutting plane is cut. Down, it's cut in the other direction. Because we have other stuff in the area, it's kind of hard to see, but you would pull it down. So let me try this with the front view so we can look at this better. Let's do section, click here, the middle of this to, nope, section, let's go from here to here. Click here, down, continue, there we go. That'll give you a better view. And this will give you the cut. So this part shows where it's cut, and this is like the actual view. Since we didn't really cut right here, this was already a cut, and you can see on the actual view, it has how the cutting plane is cut. So this is showing that it's cut. All of this stuff on this side is cut out. So you're viewing this part. Lovely. So another thing that we can do is do a detail view. Again, this is more important for more complicated parts or things that you can't see easily, but I'm gonna show you how to do it. So let's click detail up here. We're gonna click whatever side we want to show a detail of. So we're gonna click on this, and then we will click on the center point for our circle, and then click again when we want it to end, and that will give us a detail view. So you can have, edges that are jagged, edges that are smooth, things like that. You can have a different fence shape, but you have to click that first. You can change the style, so we could put shaded, you see, and gives you this zoomed in version of this here, make it easier to see certain things. So now I'm going to show you how to create an auxiliary view. So I'm going to move that up a little bit. We're going to move this down a little bit. Oh, let's delete these. Yep, delete view A. Again, don't do this. I'm just showing you how things work using this example. We're going to come up here and we're going to click auxiliary view. You can set the scale again. You can give the identifier, whatever. So what we're going to do is we're going to come over here. And we already clicked on this face, but you need to click on the face. And then you want to click on whatever slant you want to show. So what auxiliary views kind of do is they show you the true shape of a slanted surface. So here we just have like a two-dimensional shape, obviously, but it's kind of hard to see. This will give you the true slant of that. You can move it around again, however, and it'll give you that slant relative to the line that you chose. So there's that. This is the slant of the view. Okay, so let's undo that. Another thing that we can do is a center line for like holes. So I'll be opening up another drawing to show you guys how to use the center line, because this doesn't really have any, I mean, you could put center lines through anything, but this doesn't really have any holes, so it's kind of not as helpful. So let me go over here. Okay, so I have a bigger sheet here just so we can practice with things. But really all we're going to do here is come to Annotate, and we're going to come up here and click this button right under symbols. So you see here, it says, if it popped up, it would say, I believe, this is center line. So, oh my god, center point. There we go. So you literally just click the middle of the hole and then click again, and it'll set it. For a center line, it'll give you this little green dot. That's this button here. It'll give you this little green dot in the center. You click there, you click there, and you can extend a little bit, and it'll give you that center line, and then you can go across over here again. Look at that. And there you have your center lines. Another few things that you can do that aren't too important, but you can come over here and we can create some text. So you'll click where you want it to start. Up here you could change the font, you can change the size. As you type, you should be able to see it. So let's move this off to this side, and let's do scale 1:6, and ta-da, there it goes. That's just some of that. When you are annotating dimensions of a circle, you just click on it. Oh my gosh, why did that text get so small? Oh, okay, never mind. If you're wondering why this looks so small, we are working, let's see, this is why it's important to change your sheet size, people. With a size D sheet, which is huge, if we were to switch to A, it would be normal. We'd also lose all of this extra space, but that's why it looks so small. You could go and change like your settings for your dimension. You don't need to do that. This is an incredibly small part on a very large sheet, so this dimension text is going to look pretty small. In case you run into that, make sure you're using A. Alright, well, other than that, that's all that you really need to know right now when working with Inventor Drawings. I am going to assign a few homework problems, so keep an eye on that. I believe one of them is going to be a drawing that you have already done, or a model you've already done before, so you only need to do the drawing for it. The other one will be similar to what I just walked through down here, where we took a drawing that was in first projection, or first angle projection view, and switched it to third angle. So I'll upload that and make sure that I specify that. And then another one will just be a basic figure that we've been working with in the past, and you're just going to model that and then create a drawing. Make sure you do not need to make sure you don't over dimension anything. You don't need to over dimension anything. If you're looking at it and you can see that there is a way that the dimension adds up, so like here you can see that this length adds up and this length across to where you cut adds up, by all means just go with that. You don't need to dimension this. But if you're worried that you don't have enough dimensions, that's fine, understandable. You can dimension it, but good practice, do not over dimension. If you have any questions, you can email me, you can come to my office hours, we can figure something out. Just let me know, and we can walk through this. But just, think about it intuitively. Think about it as someone who would be machining the part that you're working with. You wouldn't want it to be messy. You wouldn't want too many dimensions. You wouldn't want to deal with that. So create something that is easy to work with, that isn't over dimensioned. Okay guys, so I'm back really quickly to just show you two things that I didn't show you the first time. So what I did is I opened up this sheet and I already put in one of the models that we worked with in the past. So Here, you know, we have our views, and what I'm going to do is show you guys how to create two different types of dimensions. So first thing we're going to do is come up here, click dimension, and we're going to click on the hole we want to dimension. Alright, you see how that gives you a diameter with that diameter symbol? Well, if you right click and then click dimension type and radius, it'll now give you the option to, you know, dimension it as a radius. The other thing that we can do is come up here, click dimension again, and we want to know the angle of this diagonal. So if you look back at the original figure that we worked with this model on, it gave us an angle between this horizontal and this diagonal of 45 degrees. So the first thing you're going to do is you're going to click on the diagonal line. You want to click on what's angled. Next thing you're going to do is you're going to come and you're going to click on this vertical line, or whatever you want to angle it off of. But in this case, we want to angle it off the vertical line. You see how it gives us a little vertical symbol right there where we're clicking? Not vertical, sorry. Angular symbol. Okay. Once you see that, click. Now, if you drag it out a certain way, you're going to get different types of angles. So this is the inside angle, here's this angle on the outside, and here we have a 45-degree angle. We're going to snap it right there, and boom, that's it. We're done.